Hello and welcome to the Sister Cousins Lifestyle channel. My name is Sandy, and in today's video we are going to take the $20 thrift store challenge international. So if you'd like to see what I'm talking about and where we're going today, keep watching. So we are currently in Detroit, Michigan, and if you are familiar with Detroit, you probably already guessed where we're going. We're going on a short road trip across the water and over into Canada. Now, to get to Canada, there are two choices. We can either go across the bridge or we can go through the tunnel. And today we're going through the tunnel and we'll take the bridge coming back. So here we are entering into the tunnel. This tunnel was going to take us underwater, under the Detroit River. And when we come out on the other side, we will be in Canada. Construction on this tunnel began in 1928 and it was open to the public beginning in 1930. And I can tell you some stories about this tunnel. I've been in here many a day. Back in the day, it used to leak. They've since done some repairs to it. It is still a very scary place to be under here. And today we got in a traffic jam. Like, I've never experienced that before, but we finally made it over. You see, we've crossed over from the U.S. flag to the Canada side. We're now on the Canada side and we are emerging out of the tunnel, and we'll have to go through customs and immigration. This process is pretty painless. I mean, you just have to go up. You have to answer some questions, show your ID. They ask you why you're coming to Canada, how long you're going to be here, those types of things. You don't get a passport stamp or anything like that. And then you're on your way. So now we are on our way to find the Goodwill. We are in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and they have lots of thrift stores, lots of vintage stores. But I wanted to check out a Goodwill because I want to see if they're similar to the ones in the States. And of course, I'm shopping for home decor. So when I come in here, I make a beeline over for that area. But look at this place. It is massive. And they have lots of clothes. It's very bright, very airy, and I like that. Very organized, too. I was very surprised at how organized everything was. So we're going over here to the home goods section, and one thing that I can notice right away is they don't seem to have a lot, but what they do have, they have it nicely arranged on the shelves. Now, the prices that I will show are going to be in Canadian dollars, so I will have to convert that to USD. Currently, it's not a huge difference, but you do get a little discount. So $1 of our money is about $1.40 in Canadian dollars. So that's a plus if you're shopping here and if we're lucky today. So let's see if we're going to be lucky and find anything. These are some interesting tables here. They're tribal tables. There's 3 of them. Real interesting. I can't imagine where or how to style those. Very interesting. This lamp here, of course, it caught my eye because I love the shade on it, that pleated shade, and it was velvet, but it's a little lamp table type of situation. Very different. They wanted 35 Canadian dollars, so it'd be about $25 US. Not bad, but not my style at all. I just commented on the lampshade, which I love. I don't know why it is, but here lately at the thrift stores, I have been finding lamps every time I go. That's not one of them, but that's just how it's been. And I am not purchasing any more lamps. I'm like so over lamps. I hope I can find something different at these thrift stores. So let's take a look at this art and see if there's anything interesting over here. For as organized as they had this store, I did not like the way that they had the art in here because they have that rail there, so you can't really like go through the art pieces. You have to kind of pull them out in order to see them. I did not like that, so I wasn't able to really get a full visual of many of the art pieces because of the way that they had them in this little cage. Like, I don't know why they did that, or maybe they just have more art in here than they normally do. I don't know, but unfortunately, I'm unable to show, full pieces of the art because some of these art pieces were really heavy, so I didn't even want to go through the trouble of pulling them out because I knew I wasn't going to be buying them anyway. This one with the elephants, that was really interesting there. It was like a vertical piece there and a nice frame on it. I don't typically care for elephant artwork, but I do like elephant sculptures for whatever reason. But yeah, that one just kind of stood out a bit. This is a nice piece of art here. Now this one is really nice. A nice oversized piece, large frame, nice matting, everything. But like I said, I could not get to it to really get a full visual of it. So that was a bummer. Other than that, it really wasn't a whole lot in this store to see, to my surprise and disappointment. Let's go over here and look at the small appliances. I did see this little lamp. I just said I wasn't buying no more lamps, but here we are looking at lamps. Nothing really caught my eye over here. This one was interesting looking. It looks like candlesticks there. Now this was a deal. This was $80, and this is an espresso machine. Don't see those often in the thrift store. Normally it's the Keurigs, but this is an actual Nespresso machine, and it comes with the milk frother, and they want $80 Canadian for this. So that would be $57 and some change for that. That is not bad. Now, if that works, that will make somebody a really good find. $57 for an espresso machine is good, and with the frother, because the frother alone costs more than that. But anyway, that's about all that I really see in here, unfortunately. As big as the store is, they just didn't have a lot in terms of home decor. This clock here was interesting, oversized clock with a world globe or map on it, I should say. That was interesting. I think it was about $4 Canadian for that. I'm sorry, it was $6.79 Canadian, and then that will come to about $4.78 or something like that US for that piece. And then they had that little coffee pot there, and here this little copper clock. Couldn't quite figure out what that was all about, but yeah, that was about all they had in here. They had a few little Christmas pieces in here. There's a big Santa, not Santa, that's a snowman. A snowman. He was kind of cute. And that would have been $10 USD. That's not bad at all for that. He was pretty tall, too. I would say he was at least 3 feet tall. Unfortunately, this particular store was pretty much a bust. I didn't see anything in here that I just needed to have to bring home with me. So I was in and out pretty quickly there and headed over to my next spot. I had not been to Canada in a while growing up, and while I lived in Michigan, Canada was a regular spot to come to eat, to shop, all of the things because of the exchange, and to get gas and all of those things because it was so close. I mean, we can get to Canada, and, you know, depending on where you lived, when I worked downtown, I could get to Canada in 10 minutes. So it was just that easy and that quick. But here's our next stop, and it is the Market District. And today they're having an open air market here. And we're just going to walk down this street here and see if there's anything interesting here. With this market, they sell fruit, they sell art, they sell T-shirts, they sell food, soaps, handmade soaps, and all types of things that people make, different crafts and things like that. They also have vegetables and things like that as well. So I'm interested to see what cute things I can find. And here are some candles. Aren't these cute? They look like little cupcakes. So cute. They would have been $7 US, but they kind of look like they will burn out really quickly. They were kind of lightweight, so I knew they didn't have a long burn time. So I passed on it, as cute as they were. Now this area here stopped me because I saw these crocheted pieces, and I love crocheted dish towels. My mom turned me on to them some time ago, and I love them. So I was excited to see those, and she ended up letting me get those for $4 a piece. So I did pick up one for myself and one for my mom. She also had pot holders, washcloths, and different types of things too. But I only wanted these dishcloths, and for $4, I could not beat that. So I got them. One funny thing that she told me is that she said that she gets her yarn in the U.S. at Hobby Lobby because they don't have Hobby Lobby in Canada. And like I was saying, it's so close to come across the bridge or through the tunnel. She comes over to the U.S. often to buy her yarn. So I thought that was kind of a funny little story there. So basically, these are U.S. towels. So we just continued to walk through this street. There was a lot of people here. This was a Saturday, and so it was a lot of hustle and bustle going on over here. But it was fun to kind of get out. The day was beautiful, and I just really enjoyed myself. These succulents here were so pretty. They were live succulents, and I was tempted because I do like a nice jade plant, but I'm traveling, so I knew that would not be a good idea. So I just continued to walk to see if there was anything else that was small that I was able to easily pack in my suitcase to bring home. But I wanted to look at this art over here. They had an art studio right behind this place, a brick and mortar store, but they brought some of their art out for today, but I didn't see see anything of interest there, but it is a fine art store right there. I was starting to get hungry at this point, but I had already researched and saw where I wanted to go eat. So no matter how cute the place was, I was not going to be tempted because I wanted to check out this barbecue spot that I had heard about. So I just walked through here and got all my little sightseeing in. There was so many cute little things to see in the downtown Canada area. You see that guy trying to get in the camera. I thought this art piece was so nice. It says Tunnel to Detroit, and this was not in the direction of the tunnel. It was just an art piece outside of a restaurant that I thought was cute. This part of Canada is really not exciting at all. This is Windsor, Ontario, as I mentioned before. They don't have a whole lot going on here. But they do have, this little open air market that's really nice. And they have a lot of graffiti art and artwork and things like that on buildings and things like that. They have a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, things like that, antique shops. They have a lot of antique shops. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to hit up any of those on this trip over. But yeah, this has been a fun day, but now I am hungry and it's time to find something to eat. The restaurant that I found that I wanted to check out is called Smokey's Barbecue. It's a halal restaurant. They don't sell any pork barbecue, so they have beef and things like that, and they got good ratings, so I can't wait to leave here. It's a short drive from where we are here in the downtown area, but we have arrived there, and I cannot wait to get in here and check out their menu and decide what it is that I want to eat. And would you believe that they did not have their barbecue ready? It was about 1 or 2 o'clock when we were there. They don't start serving their barbecue until 4 o'clock, which is unfortunate. So I ended up getting the lamb platter, and it was okay. In all fairness, the reviews that I saw was strictly talking about the barbecue, the short ribs, things like that, which they didn't have ready. So I didn't get a chance to try any of that. So not sure that I'll ever come back here or not, because it just was not impressive enough to do that. But anyway, that was my trip to Canada for the day. And we drove around a little bit, just kind of looking at the neighborhoods and just to see what else there was to see. Because, like I said, I had not been over here in several years. So, didn't know what was happening over here these days. And it's not much. So going back, we took the bridge across. This is the Ambassador Bridge. Also a very scary place. But yeah, we took the bridge over and it was a much smoother process. We got back over and into Detroit in, probably 3 minutes. It didn't take long at all, but it was a beautiful drive, a beautiful day. And I hope that you enjoyed spending the day with me over in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. If you enjoyed today's video and you're not currently subscribed, I would like to ask that you hit that subscribe button. We do a lot of shopping over here. If you enjoy shopping, this is the place to be. So hit the subscribe button, hit the post notification bell. That way we can stay connected. And to all my returning family members, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope to see you on my next one. Thanks so much for watching. And let's head on back to the U.S.